Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor In Paradise, a guy's review. Hello. How's everyone doing out there? Holy dumpster fire, the Monday massacre, when the world unfollowed, Pieper and Brendan. So much to get into in today's recap. If you've never watched my channel, I take notes, read them back to you guys. No edits, no jump cuts, just me, you, and the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We are quickly approaching 41,000 subscribers, which is an insane amount of growth we've had this year. But not everyone is growing their accounts. Brendan and Pieper, listen, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. This is going to be the recap of the episode. Then stick around for the upcoming videos later today, and I'm going to have all of the unfollows that are happening. It is one of the biggest unfollow days, if not the biggest of anyone ever on Bachelor. And even Colton Underwood's like, wow, you guys really know how to create some traffic right there. We're tracking your story too, Colton. All right, folks. So we'll get right into it. But first, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. And if you want any extra Patreon content, that's private membership content, you can go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. And I post my stand-up comedy clips on there, plus private live streams and all that jazz. All right, let's get into it. First, we start off with Kendall. We started with her calling, grocery store Joe a butthead. And then Kendall flies to Mexico just so she can call him a butthead. That's it. She's like, I got to go now. I got that last jab in. You know, when you break up with someone, you just want to get that last jab in. She's like, butthead. All right, back to the States. So this is why I love the beach setup, because Kendall approaches Joe and he takes her from Serena, and then they start walking like a mile away. And as far as they're walking, there's no obstructions. There's no pole or palm frame they can hide behind. The beach is all fair games. The camera guys have their long zoom lenses, and there's no obstacles and no privacy. So anyway, people are saying that Kendall and grocery store Joe were engaged, or possibly were sort of engaged. I don't know if they really were. I don't know if it was confirmed. But Kendall says she still wants Joe to be in her life. Kendall can't get over that they broke up, not because they didn't love each other, but because of logistics. Which, by the way, if you're ever dating somebody who broke up with someone else because of logistics, it's like, all right, so what happens when you just move back into the same state? You're just going to dump me? You know what I mean? So clearly you'd rather someone break up because they're like, we hate each other, but instead they're like, well, we just didn't live that close to our families. So the ladies, of course, are there to support Serena. Isn't it funny how you don't cry until your friends say don't cry? Serena's doing perfectly fine. Her friends are like, don't cry. And Serena's like, all right. And then they hug each other. They're all, they're doing well. They're, embracing each other. These are the women bonding stories we want to see, not the ones tearing each other apart. So after the commercial break, Bachelor in Paradise now does a full replay of Kendall and Joe's relationship. Brutal, right? They do it that like slightly black and white footage where they're like previously on Heartbreak Hill. Joe tells Kendall he got a girl at Bachelor in Paradise he likes. Joe calls Kendall out for having revisionary history. It's almost like Joe's telling Kendall she's gaslighting him, because he says that Kendall didn't even want to move to Chicago, and she never even tried. Joe was basically like, move to Chicago, give it a shot. If you love me, give it a shot. And I don't know why Kendall didn't say, hey, why don't you move to California? Give that a shot. Joe wasn't into California. I feel like you got to try a city for 6 months before you say if you don't like it. You know what I mean? You got to give it 6 months. So Kendall says she wants closure with Joe so that she could date other guys on the beach. Fair enough. Joe tells Serena he's over Kendall, and if she's willing to endure the weird vibes, let's do it. So Joe got himself a new butthead. Meanwhile, Noah and Abigail having their rough patch. Abigail says she doesn't communicate well. She thinks things but doesn't know how to verbalize them, which, by the way, knowing that is the first step in overcoming that. Many people don't realize how bad of communicators they actually are. They think things and they come off the wrong way. Looking at you, Demi. The Kenny, Mari, and Demi love triangle continues, although Tia is now involved. So technically, it's a love square or rectangle, respectively. It's a polygon. Are you guys into poly? Only when it comes to geometry. All right, folks, that wasn't written. We're doing it on the fly. Mari said there's better recaps than mine, but I'll tell you what, we got some unwaxed charm we talk about there in the Boom Boom Room. You like your charm unwaxed? We'll give it to you with slight abrasion. Mari says she misses Kenny. Meanwhile, Kenny and Tia just returned from nude volleyball. Mari looking great in that wrestler onesie. What was that? It was like a romper that shrunk in the wash. It looked good to me. She tells Kenny, I still really like you, and it's hard seeing you with other people. I have feelings for you. I think I needed to see that to solidify where I was at. Mari says, I felt so strongly I got scared. So, I mean, we're talking about someone who's wise above their years here. I know hours earlier she threw a cake into the fire, but she's evolving as we try to do. Kenny agrees to talk again, but not jump in so fast. Kenny's like, I've got a line of girls at the Boom Boom Room waiting for me like they're in the deli line. A32. We got all right, you're next. Who would have thought Kenny? Leave a comment. Who would have thought Kenny would have been the catch of the day out there, to use a Siemens reference? All right, folks, there it is. Meanwhile, Demi is getting angrier and angrier. Kenny, you are in for it. Demi says Kenny told her the door was shut with Mari. It's like, yeah, Demi, the door was shut. But, doors, they're built with hinges so they can open back up. And it's paradise, and that door is swinging back open. He should have said it was a wall. It was closed in. It was a wall. No, it was a door. You open the door. The door's never shut. It's not locked. Kenny doesn't have the key. Kenny goes, so Demi says to Kenny, if you want, Demi whispers in his ear, thinking that the microphones aren't going to pick it up. Demi goes, do you want to go to the Boom Boom Room right now? And Kenny goes, I have to go to sleep. Is that what he said? I think he said, I have to go to sleep. And I immediately thought Demi was just going to punch him. Really, she's not handling rejection well. And some people have pointed this out. Leave a comment. What's happening here? Does Demi think she has to resort to using her body for to win him over? She tried humor. We all try to overcompensate, right? But Kenny, he just wasn't feeling it, both literally and physically, actually. Demi says, I didn't fight this hard just to be placed in his pocket. Okay, so Demi is now entitled to Kenny. Now, I thought this would become a big story in the after live stream, which you can go check out on my channel if you want to do a rewind here. But of course, the Pieper and Brendan scenario really takes the cake. The burnt cake, the cake brulee, la gâteau brulee for my francophone. Pieper arrives. Pieper shows up. Serena hugs her. Brendan looks super excited. Brendan's like, oh, nice. I've been waiting weeks for you. I'm sick of, trying to fake a relationship over here. I'm not that good at acting. That's why I'm a model, right? I always assumed Natasha-Brendan relationship was fake, but now I'm starting to change my mind. I told you this every time. I said, look, Natasha's in on it. Natasha's keeping them company. And then obviously things go sour and I go, oh, maybe I was wrong. Listen, when you get new information and you find out you're wrong, you're able to change your opinion. That's called being a human, and I'm not going to apologize for that. Looks like everyone's going to be angry at Brendan for lying to Natasha. Brendan accepts the date with Pieper. He'll be in trouble when Pieper watches this back, when he's like, oh yeah, my relationship with Pieper, it's like nothing. It was super casual. Brendan tells Natasha his relationship with Pieper. It's like, it's no big deal. The big storm's coming. We're all ready for it, both, again, physically and metaphysically. Brendan and Pieper go on their date. Pieper tells Brendan he was downplaying what he and Pieper had before going on the show. And Brendan's like, you're blowing my fucking cover here. Pieper's like, come on, you're downplaying. We have a thing. And he's like, I know we have a thing. I'm trying to two-time people. She says her relationship pre-Bachelor in Paradise with Brendan was a budding relationship. Budding's what the kids call more than just bumping Harrisons. Slinging spades, lancing each other's bass, and spiking coconuts. The cast catches... I hope this is your first video of mine watching. You go, what is wrong with this guy? The cast catches on, and they are pissed. Which, it's like, come on. Everyone lies and go on for different reasons. But they were caught red-handed. Natasha asked Pieper to talk. Natasha got her cocktail filled up. She topped off her cocktail. She's like, let's go talk. But first, Wells... yeah, fill up the cocktail. Put a little extra in there for me. It's going to be a nice one. Brendan's leaning back in the daybed like, yikes. Okay, he's nervous laughter. Nothing more dangerous for a guy than when the ladies start trading receipts. This is what it means to be an American. You got to deal. If you're going to lie to somebody, you better expect them talking to each other, being like, he said this to me. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what happens. Natasha goes into detective mode. You never want your lady to look like Sherlock Holmes. She had a pipe, she had the cape, the khaki jacket, and the houndstooth, and the stupid hat. She had the whole thing going on. She goes, when did you meet? Pieper goes, 2 months ago. She goes, okay. He said a month. She goes, how many times you hang out? Pieper goes, 10 times. Then Natasha goes, he said 2 times. Natasha says, so what? Natasha goes, so what? You said you told him go to the beach, meet a girl, lie to her till I get there. Tell me the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Can't handle the truth.
The whole thing. I've always been waiting to use that button. So there's the whole thing's going down, and Natasha's coming out looking like roses. Natasha's coming out being like, look. And if Natasha wasn't involved in any of this, which rightfully we should believe she wasn't, but if she wasn't involved, she got played so hard, and it's during a global pandemic, she literally travels to another country, puts herself at risk, in the pursuit of love. I'm not trying to make it any more like enlightened than it actually is, but it's a little messed up. So what I want to say is some breaking news here. I am pledging my channel in full support in the year 2022, Natasha Parker for Bachelorette. You heard it here first, folks. Now listen, everyone's wondering who they're going to announce as the next Bachelor. You know what, Bachelors? Take another year off. We're going with Natasha 2022. What do you guys say? You into that? Get the redemption story she needs. Now, the sinister side is that maybe Natasha was part of the plan to keep him warm, but wasn't realizing she was going to catch feelings. I'm not saying that's the case, but people are saying, and we'll get into this with some more investigative journalism, but people are saying that Natasha has been friends with Pieper for all too long. But of course, afterwards, we'll get into this in the next video. Natasha posts, makes a post pretty much very cutting into Brendan, and also Rachel Lindsay post cutting into Brendan. People are weighing in on this, and we will get you that information. So don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe. That's my Instagram at DNeals right there. You can catch some of my stand-up clips on there. But make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all this content as there's going to be a lot of statements that are coming out. We're going to follow it all. Plus, not to mention how many unfollows they got, because it was a bunch. Brendan says that Natasha didn't have any other options, so no harm, no foul. This is where it starts to get rough when Brendan starts defending himself. He's going, hey, she had no viable options. Yeah, don't use the V word, okay? You don't want to use the V word. You're not going to have any viable offspring because someone's going to kick you in the balls if you use the V word too often. I don't know. I don't condone any violence. It was a joke. I want to feel bad for Natasha. I just can't tell if she was in on this. I wrote this before the things that started happening, and I was like, oh, she's totally not in on this. But I was confused. I had it on good information that she was part of the plot, right? That's what we all thought, that she was a producer plant. Could she have been a producer plant gone rogue? I'm leaning on the side of believing 100% that she went there with good faith and didn't realize. Maybe she knew that Brendan and Pieper had something that had gone on, but seeing someone once or twice, hanging out, maybe taking someone home after the bar is a little different than like seeing someone 10 times. That's called a relationship. Brendan calls his relationship with Natasha a friendship, and then she calls him out. She says he had selective hearing. Or did he say she had? Now I might be confused here. I think he said she had selective. Either way, we'll figure it out. Trying to remember it all. And then, Natasha's like, friend? I ain't come here for no friends. I got Ivan. And Ivan's like, why do I got to be everyone's friend? I'm sick of being Ivan's like Captain Friendzone on the show. He's like, I'm sick of being friends. I'm trying to sling my spade. I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm trying to bump a Harry, spike a coconut, lance a bass out here. You know what I mean? Baby got bass. Lance it. Brendan and Pieper. So I guess there was no host this episode, right? Who needs a host? This episode proved you don't need a host. Brendan and Pieper discuss how much screen time Pieper is going to get on this show. Look, this is not going over well. Did they forget they were on? I'm sure the audio guy, this was the audio guy. The audio guy's in the back, and he's like, what the hell are they saying right now? Oh, are you guys getting this? And the director's like, we're getting it. And he's like, we got to turn this up. You know what I mean? Wow. Was this the most interesting Bachelor in Paradise episode of all time? Leave a comment. Let me know. Was this the most dramatic Bachelor in Paradise episode, more so than any of the fights that have happened in the Palapa? Would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Natasha starts the rally to get Brendan and Pieper to leave. She's like, why are you here? Bye. She starts to get everyone to be like, what are they even doing here? And everyone's like, you know what? What are they doing here? Let's get them out. And we'll have to see what happens tonight on the next episode of Bachelor in Paradise. I will have a live stream, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Will that be the time? You know what? Do me a favor. Check my Instagram at DNeals for my updated live stream schedule. There's a lot of content coming out, so I want to make sure you guys know when it is. You can hit the alert. You can subscribe that way. Thank you so much to everyone who's commented, and a lot of people have been leaving some nice Venmos and PayPals and all that. Thank you guys so much. You're literally putting bread in the tip jar. I really appreciate it, and it's just, again, thank you. The next screen, when I post it, you'll be able to see where you can donate if you want to do that. So thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you in a little bit. More content coming all day long. Stick around. Bye now.